All right, I think we'll get started. For those that are on the call, we'll spend some time if you have any questions at the end. And also, for those that aren't able to make it, and knowing that this is a recording, this is also an opportunity to share this information with your community, maybe with your church, or maybe even with family members, people that are interested in what's taking place in Indiana and also abroad. So, with that, we'll just get started. And pretty much what this is, I mean, this is actually our first summer of action for Indiana. So, welcome to the conversation and knowing a little bit what's going on and how you can take action. What I like to say, what is your next step when it comes to being a part of some of these conversations, both within your church and community. So, as you can see, Summer of Action is hope-filled. And so with this idea of hope, we believe that there's opportunities for us to engage our communities, our churches, maybe even our workplaces. Who are those in our relationships, our sphere of influence, so to speak, that we can engage in? People that are asking tough questions, people that are looking for answers, some what I would call more of an introduction of what does it mean to engage our environment. And for us as Christians, what's it mean to look at creation care as an opportunity to engage where God is working, and that's in and around us. And so, as we can see here, we are excited. We're excited to defend God's creation and defend God's creation with you. And when we talk about defending God's creation, it really has, I think, less to do with living in fear or having a scarcity mindset, but really actually an abundance that there's opportunity, there's freedom actually when we explore the ways that God is working. If we're faithful, but also as we lift our voice up, as we engage, as we maybe at times even advocate, take action to defend those around us, because we believe that this collective, as you see on this slide, as we share our message and the values and hope, it's an invitation, an invitation for people to hopefully find a community that believes in such things, but also an invitation to learn from one another. What are people doing that we might be able to take part of? And when we convene, when we meet, when we do things like this, where we gather and we hear from one another, we realize that we're not in it alone. And as you can see, that last word there, in terms of journey, that we play the long game, that we're in this for the long haul, that there are immediate things that we take action on. There's immediate things that we engage, our family members, our friends, those in our churches, our congregations. At the same time, we understand that this is a journey. And so how do we invest both resources, time, energy, but also how do we invest in the different generations? How do we invest in our children, our youth, our young adults, those that are kind of in the middle ages, and also those that are older? What's it look like for us to gather, to convene, to learn, to share, and then maybe at times even to lament, to cry out, and to actually feel maybe at times even what God feels. And so we believe that, again, God is active in these places, and that invitation is to join him in that. And so this time together is one of, hopefully, as you saw at the beginning of the slide, it's hope-filled. It's an opportunity to bring hope, but not just something that is kind of this idea, but something that is tangible, that is real. And so that's why at the beginning we talked about what's our next step? What's the next step for us? What's the next step for you? And also your community and church. And so over the next 20, 30 minutes or so, we're just going to learn what are opportunities that are taking place in Indiana, and maybe some ways that you can immediately engage. And then what are some opportunities that you might want to create? What are some opportunities that you're dreaming about or imagining, or maybe you just need a few people like Ian and those in our community to come alongside and help validate that for you. Because I truly believe that those that are listening in and part of this, that there's already things that you're feeling and doing, that we want to multiply that and expand that and to invite people into this space as part of their journey. So with that, in Psalm 42, verse 11, it says, "Why, my soul, are you downcast? Why so disturbed within me? Put your hope in God, for I will yet praise him, my Savior and my God." And so we believe that, yeah, there's times maybe right now that you feel kind of down about, something that you're experiencing, seeing around you when it comes to creation care and environmental stewardship and things like that. But at the same time, we know that we're not in this alone, and it does mean something when we can lean into a community. And for those that really follow God, understand that yeah, we are alongside that work as well. And so, one question that I would like to ask many of you is, how would you like to use your voice? How would you like to use your voice? Um, and there's many opportunities that we have at EEN, and specifically even in Indiana and the work that we're doing. So are you interested in local church engagement? Meaning, are you part of a congregation? Do you attend a church that are asking these questions? Maybe you attend a church that engaging Christian care is something new. Maybe it's not really talked about, but you understand that this is part of our faith, our belief. It's part of the mandate. And at the same time, you want to engage this type of work. What does that look like for you? How would you like to use your voice, your gifts, your abilities to engage locally? Community engagement. What are some ways that you can engage your community? We have a lot of opportunities to engage certain local areas, whether that's in townships and in cities, various counties that we're a part of as well. How would you like to engage your community? What does that look like for you? What are questions that you have? What are the ways that maybe you want to contribute as well? Another step that you could use your voice is one-on-one engagement. How can we come alongside and help you discover that next step? Maybe for some of us, it's these are new conversations. Maybe you just feel overwhelmed and it's like, what in the world am I getting myself into? I see it, I feel it. I'm kind of restless when I want to engage, in some of these topics, but I just don't know where to start. And so for some of us, it's just I just need really a time just to talk through some of the things I'm feeling and seeing, and maybe discover what are the opportunities, what are ways I can engage. And so that's a way for us to come alongside you, but also for you to come alongside others to actually offer some of the things that you're passionate about. Some other ways that are pretty active, as you can see even on our website, creationcare.org, are ways to meet with policymakers. How do I step into those worlds? What do I do? Does it even matter? I get a lot of those questions too, like, does my voice even matter? And the answer is absolutely yes. And there's so many different ways that you can lend your voice to your policymakers. But how do I do that? And what maybe are some opportunities that are already created for me to meet with my policymaker? Another one is to write for change. Some of you have the gift of writing. I tell usually my kids as they're in school that a lot of people can speak well, a lot of people can write well, and we need both, and to engage into these spaces. And we understand that words matter. So if you're someone who's a writer and you're passionate about these things, some of these issues, there's something that's moving you. We want to create space for you to write and to help you find ways to write for change. And once you write and bring people in, it invites people and actually helps shape some language. And so we're really looking forward to having a good group of writers, specifically in Indiana, that can help facilitate some of these spaces too. Some of that might be op-eds, some of that might be blog posts, some of that might be just communication pieces within Indiana. But if you love to write, we'd love to have you involved in this. And the other one is social media for advocacy. How do I word things correctly? How do I create space where, again, as we talked about earlier, it's inviting, it's hopeful, How do we share stories? Some of the best ways to engage people is through narrative, through storytelling, through testimony, if you want to use that word. So as I testify something, I'm bringing people into my space. And in that, they see the change, the passion, the interest, also the concern. But hopefully through it, they see the love for others and for us, a love for God. And so we really want to communicate the stories as well. And so social media is a great place for that. And also, I think we need some more hopeful information and content on our social media platforms. So that's something that you're passionate about. How do I do that? What does that look like? How do I lend my voice in advocacy on social media? We want to hear from you. The other one in Indiana is how do I talk to others about creation care? Um, how we talked about language, words matter, but what are like some of those buzzwords, right, that might make people a little restless or anxious? And so we want to help people, one, to know how do you talk about creation care? The other one is how do I listen well? We're talking about talking, lend your voice, but a lot of times the best way to let your voice be heard is also to listen well. That's the passage, in scripture that talks about um, being quick to listen and slow to speak. And lending your voice well is something that is self-controlled. It's something that listens well. And so in talking to others, we help come alongside people and say, how do I ask the right questions? How do I ask good questions? How do I talk well to others? How do I listen well? And so this is all about talking to others while creating space for what you're saying is also well received. And then the last thing is participate in state level advocacy. And this kind of goes along with meeting with policymakers, but how do I meet with my local officials? How do I meet with my state representatives? Are there things that are happening at the state house that EEN's convening or working alongside other partners and friends that we can lend our voices together? But also, how do I build relationships with my policymakers? And what's it mean to actually see them as people versus just policymakers? And that's one of the things that EN tries to do really well is to step in to understand that they live lives just like we do. At the same time, it's a tough job, and so how do we care while also communicate the things that we're passionate about? So in this slide here, there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of ways for you to lend your voice. There's a lot of ways for you to take next steps. But for you, I think it's the opportunity to find ways and to lean into those. And so we're going to spend some of our time uh, this afternoon to find ways for you to step in immediately. Um, and before I move on to the next slide, if you want to email me at jeremy@creationcare.org, if there's any of these things that you're interested in, feel free to email me. Let me know. Sometimes when you see a checklist, it's like check one. You might like all of them. You might like one. There might be one that's missing. So definitely email me, and I would love to help you again discover what that next step is. So as we move on to the next slide, um, one of the opportunities that we have are workshops that we're providing alongside partnering with churches and some of our friends of EN to engage our local areas, our regions, help provide some of the things that we just mentioned in the last slide of taking their next step or finding ways to engage their community. And so in this, our first one actually kicks off on September 27th at Grace Church. And these are going to be opportunities to lean into various workshops, hands-on, tangible ways to engage our families, our communities, our churches. And so with that, I'm going to let Hannah Miller, who is on this call, she is one of the leaders of this, I would say, movement within kind of the Hamilton County area. So I'm going to let her have the floor, and she's just going to share a little bit more. One, what is this event? Two, why? Why are we even doing this? And then three, ways that you can get involved. And I guess if you want to talk more about anything else, you can too. So,
sure.
It's all yours, Hannah.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Good to connect with you virtually. So I have been a part of our church's Creation Care group for 3 or 4 years. And we got connected to EEN through a networking event that our church hosted, as well as other creation care advocates that attend other churches. So a couple years ago, we said, what can we do to increase advocacy and awareness, and connect other Christians who feel like they're the only ones in the area that care? And we started a Creation Fest. We did a few years, and it went really well, but we were like, it seemed we wanted to do something that was a little more sustainable to do more than once a year. So this is our first shot, I guess, at having a series of workshops. My church is hosting it, but we have workshop leaders from outside my church. And it's an opportunity for people in the area to come together and share their own journeys of with creation care. The workshop leaders will share some of their own expertise with things like vegan dieting or sustainable living in terms of what you're purchasing and using at home, to how to promote native wildlife by providing the right types of homes for birdhouses, for example. So we're really excited to connect with more people. Again, I've been part of this group at my church locally for a while, and Jeremy didn't ask me to say this, but we are so grateful for EEN. I feel like when we got connected to them, we really had a boost of just knowledge and connecting with someone who's connected with the wider network and can say, people have done this, and what if we try this? And they've been a huge support to taking our individual visions in the midst of our busy lives and trying to be advocates and turning it into something like this event. So if you're anywhere in the area, we'd love to meet you in person at this event in September. I don't know if I answered all of your questions, Jeremy.
Yeah, you answered all my questions. No, you're great. And Hannah is, again, one of our key leaders in the area, and someone who's been very conscientious about the region, both in regards to the church kind of space and also community space. And that's why these workshops, as you can see on the slide, is a workshop one, or sorry, this is the first one of many, because these will be annual in the area. But the idea is just to create tangible ways, kind of practical ways to engage, because sometimes, we think these are overwhelming. Um, and uh, and so I think Hannah and her team are trying to find ways to make these events family friendly, ways to find different opportunities for people that are having these conversations, or asking good questions, or might not even realize that they're living in this space, was like, oh, wow, I have something to offer. So that's why there are different varieties of workshops, and so forth. Thanks, Hannah, for sharing that, and being on this call to give a little bit more info and background on that. And so, as she mentioned, this will be posted on our website as well to sign up, but you can, just click on the QR code too there if you want. But we'll be promoting those throughout Indiana. The other thing too is we have the first one, September 27th. We actually have another opportunity that's very similar to the one happening in Noblesville in the Bloomington area. And that will be taking place on November 1st. So more information will be sent out. It'll be kind of the similar type of format and programming, but that'll be done through Christ Church down in Bloomington, Indiana. And so if you're from the South, Southern Indiana, I should say, then we'd love to invite you to that one. It's a Saturday, November 1st. Those that care about football at all, Indiana is not playing. They don't have a home game on November 1st. So you should be free, hopefully, that day to invite your church, your community, and so forth. So that more information will be going out regarding that workshop in the Bloomington area. Another thing that we have going on is Creation Care Partners. And Creation Care Partners is an organization that we work alongside, specifically when it comes to helping churches be able to fund different opportunities when it comes to like energy audits and things like that. And a lot of resources available through Creation Care Partners. And so Mady, who's actually attends and is connected to Christ Church in Bloomington, who will be hosting that event in November 1st, works with Creation Care Partners. And so I'll be sharing her information in a little bit. But the point of this is to show and give opportunities for churches to understand that there are grants available, there are resources available to help your churches be able to be more conscientious around energy, and also to come alongside to help with information, money, right? A lot of times when we say resources, it's like content. No, I mean these resources actually do have some money attached to it as well, but then also support. So those are three areas where no matter what size church you attend or that you're a part of, this would be a great opportunity, even if you don't maybe accept what they offer, at least to learn is a big step for a lot of churches. So speak to your board, maybe your pastor, maybe other key leaders in your congregation. But this is a way to help churches save resources. And then what happens is they come alongside for tracking. So there's also this progress to show, hopefully the church board or trustees, the leadership of the church of this is how we're actually not only following through with our commitment to care for God's creation, but if we actually believe his ways are the best ways, then I think as we save money, we can also use those resources, maybe for missions or other ways to resource other types of ministries within our congregation. So this is just a great way, I think, to make a statement of being a good steward of our resources, and to show our community that I don't want to say we put our money where our mouth is, but we actually care about the resources that we use, and we're good stewards of the things that God has given us. So um, with this, you can look and see further kind of the ways that they come alongside congregations. So there's a monthly program. They help take a survey, and with this content, with this information, and kind of these assessments, what they're doing is actually giving you tangible uh, data that helps you be able to really be conscientious and aware. And I think that's one thing that a lot of times out of sight, out of mind, that we're unaware sometimes of our practices. And so one of the things that Mady wants to do is help people not just save money, not just to say that, we care about the environment and God's creation, but actually, in addition to that, is that we actually want to be wise in the decisions that we're making. So it's almost a discipleship issue. It's how are we engaging? How are we being wise? And then being faithful in the things that we do. So being understanding of our actions. Um, the other thing too is Mady comes alongside and helps folks with youth programs and so forth. And so how do they get younger generations? So the picture on the left there is very intentional, something that they worked with one church to help in terms of with window sealing and so forth, just to be more energy efficient, and involved the children. So the children were a part of this process as well. So there was this understanding of raising up the young, right, to engage these practices. Why are we doing this? Well, we want to care for God's creation. We want to be good stewards of our resources. And this is a good way to serve our community because we can use those resources to do, maybe better children's ministry or outreach or whatever that might be. So Mady comes alongside and really contextualizes this and customizes it for each congregation. And so if you're interested in this, I highly encourage you to reach out to CreationCarePartners@gmail.org. And or you can email me and I'll connect you with Mady. But I'd really encourage you to at least look at the content, look at the information, and then learn a little bit more about what they do and how you can partner with some of our friends at EEN. The next thing I want to highlight that's taking place in Indiana and actually abroad, this is a little bit of a greater EEN opportunity, is a prayer service for care of creation. And what that means is we gather a few times, basically over the next, 6 months or so. And our first one is going to be September 4th, which kicks off in the fall at 8 p.m. And this is an opportunity for you to engage with one another through prayer. We really believe that prayer is the way that God helps us move in various directions. It's a great way to offer confession. It's a great way to offer encouragement. It's a great way to be part of a greater community that we see across other states gather for 1 hour to pray for God's creation and how we're engaging these practices. And so, with that, I'd encourage you to look at our website, CreationCare.org. You can email me as well. But this is an opportunity for you to join this prayer service. And so, if you could do that, I encourage that you can share this with other people, other congregations, and so forth. It's not just for just for church leaders, but also those that might be associated with other ministries too that might not be part of an actual church, but would love to be a part of this prayer opportunity. And so I know some small groups that use this opportunity to pray. So they might lead a small group around Christian care or might be doing a book study. And so they offer this time as an opportunity for their people to engage prayer times with other people. And so anyway, let me encourage you to do that. That's a great opportunity. And if you're someone who doesn't like to pray out loud, there are plenty that just show up and pray silently, if that makes sense. But they listen. They listen to the prayers of others. And there's a stirring that takes place. It's pretty powerful time together. So that's September 4th, 8 p.m., and you can get more information at creationcare.org. And then one of the last things I want to share is EEN Action. If you scan the QR code there, you'll find ways to, one, to register, but how do you champion policies to engage, these issues that we've talked about? What's coming up? What are things I need to be aware of? Maybe I know some things are taking place now. How do I engage that? Or how do I even maybe communicate that to those at EEN, either myself or other leaders at EEN to find ways to take action? This is a great way to partner, but also a great way to collaborate with others. So if this is something that you're like, yes, like I know I want to take action, there's no doubt, then I encourage you to go ahead and register for that as well. And then here are a few things that some ongoing work that's taking place. So at the very beginning, I talked about ways to use your voice and maybe some opportunities that you want to engage in. Some ongoing work that's taking place in Indiana. And so what we would love for you to do is, or maybe I should say what I would love for you to do, is to email me and let me know if you live within one of these regions, either central Indiana, kind of Indianapolis, Noblesville region, Marion County, Hamilton County, kind of the surrounding counties of that area. Maybe you're in southern Indiana, kind of the Bloomington region, or maybe you live in the northern Indiana kind of area, like Marion, Indiana, Fort Wayne region, some of those counties. If you live within kind of an hour and a half radius of those areas, I'd love for you to reach out to me. These are kind of what I would call Creation Care hubs, kind of hotspots, places where we have some movement and people that are having these conversations on a regular basis, and we want to invite you into these spaces. And as Hannah mentioned, of course, she's from the central Indiana region, and we have others that are as well. These are places to get involved. These are places, as we talked about the Lend Your Voice opportunities, where we share about ways to get involved. This is a way for you to share your gifts, your abilities, your passions. So these Creation Care hubs also are places where we have universities that we work with within those areas, like Indiana Wesleyan, Taylor, and so forth. So if there's places or people that you know that you want to engage in, please email me. at jeremy@creationcare.org. And then you see there with that asterisk, would you like to start the Creation Care Hub? Maybe for you, you're the one that's going to cultivate that. Hannah, who you just heard from, was one of those people that started the Creation Care Hub. And you can see the fruit of their passion, of their work. And so we just want to come alongside and help fan that into flame, maybe provide some stability, structure, resources, encouragement, connections, networking, and so forth. We want to know, what are you hearing from God? What are you seeing? And how can we come alongside and maybe help take that to the next level and invite others into that space? So if that's you. Please email me. The other one is to join our annual gathering workshops. We highlighted already Grace Church, September 27th. I mentioned November 1st at Christ Community Church in Bloomington. And then the last is to join our EN prayer service for the care of creation, which I mentioned that already, Thursday evening, September 4th, which is online. So when you get that information, you can feel free to share that. All these things are for places to invite people to. We're not a clique. We don't try to do things our way. We want to advance the work of God in these spaces. And sometimes that means interacting and partnering with other folks as well, and sharing best practices. So please, in any of these opportunities, please share, and we'll be more than hopefully faithful, but also we'll be active in trying to advance some of this work. And so with that, that kind of concludes kind of our time, at least when it comes to what is happening in Indiana. What's the lay of the land in Indiana? I'm encouraged. Yes, there are some areas when it comes to some ways that we're being proactive at the state level, and we're going to continue to be proactive in those areas. Yes, there's some things with our state representatives that we're having conversations with, and we're going to continue to have those conversations. But we are hope-filled. And I believe that when we bring our voices together, when we bring our gifts and abilities together, when we hear from one another, like Hannah and Mady and others that are watching this, that are part of this work of EEN and other churches and organizations, when we do this together, I believe that God is pleased. And so we're going to continue this long game, and we're going to continue to invite people into their next step. And so please reach out to me, Jeremy@creationcare.org, and I'd love to connect with you and discover ways that we can continue to partner together to advance this work of creation care. So thanks for joining our first Summer of Action call, and looking forward to connecting with you in the near future.